Hey everyone, and welcome. So today we're tackling a really fundamental question in AI, and it's this. How can a machine prove something is true with 100% certainty? We're not talking about guesses or probabilities here. We're talking about cold, hard, logical proof. And we're going to find out how by basically building a reasoning engine from the ground up. So let's really zoom in on that question. It's one thing for an AI to guess that there's a cat in a photo. That's impressive, sure. But it is a whole other ballgame for it to take a set of facts and come up with a conclusion that is logically undeniable. So how do we get from just processing data to generating absolute proof? Well, that's exactly what we're going to explore, building this reasoning machine piece by piece. All right, so here's the plan. This is our blueprint. We're going to start with why we even need certainty in the first place. Then we'll get into the language our machine speaks. After that, we'll define its main goal, look at the engines that actually do the reasoning, and then the fun part. We'll take one for our test drive, and finally, we'll look at its limits and what the next level upgrade looks like. Okay, first things first. We need to think about a very specific type of AI. It's called a knowledge-based agent. And just like the name sounds, this agent has a collection of facts about its world, its knowledge base. To act smart, it can't just guess. It needs a formal, super reliable system to represent what it knows and to draw conclusions that are absolutely positively guaranteed to be correct. And that formal system? Well, it's logic. You can think of it as the ultimate rule book for thinking. Logic gives our agent a strict syntax. That's the grammar, the rules for building correct sentences. And it gives it precise semantics, which define what those sentences mean and, crucially, whether they are true or false. This is the absolute bedrock of our reasoning machine. So what are the actual parts of this language? How do we build it? We're going to start with the simplest, most fundamental form out there, propositional logic. This is basically where our machine learns its ABCs. And the most basic building block of all is the atomic proposition. It's just a simple statement about the world that can only be one of two things, true or false, no in between. It is raining, true or false. The ground is wet, true or false. Each one of these is like a single Lego brick of knowledge for our agent. But, a pile of single Lego bricks isn't very useful. You need a way to snap them together to build something cool. And that's exactly what logical connectives do for us. These are the little operators that let us combine our simple facts into more interesting, more complex sentences, like, it is raining and the ground is wet. Now, what's really important here are the strict rules for these connections. This isn't about feelings or nuance. It is about absolute precision. For an and statement to be true, both parts have to be true, no exceptions. For an or statement, at least one of them has to be true. These rules are literally the instruction manual for how our agent is allowed to think. Okay, so we've got our building blocks, our propositions, and we've got the rules to combine them. But what is our machine actually trying to do with all this? Its main goal is to figure out what new facts logically follow from the facts it already knows. And this brings us to the core concept, logical entailment. This is the relationship we're hunting for. A knowledge base, let's just call it KB, entails some new sentence, we'll call it alpha, if that sentence is guaranteed to be true in every single possible world where everything in our knowledge base is also true. It's the ultimate stress test for a logical conclusion. If it holds, it's undeniable. And this quote just nails it. It perfectly shows the difference between the idea of entailment and the process of actually proving it. Entailment means that the conclusion, our needle, is already there, hidden somewhere in the facts we started with, our haystack. Our agent's job, using a process called inference, is to build a machine that can actually find that needle. So how does our agent actually find the needle? What does it use? It needs an engine, a real, concrete procedure that can perform inference and prove that one thing follows from another. And there are a couple of main ways to do this. First up is the truth table method. This is the brute force approach. You just list out every single possible combination of true and false for your facts and check if the conclusion holds every time it's supposed to. It's simple and it is guaranteed to work, but man, is it slow. Then there's the resolution method, which is a much more clever and frankly elegant approach. It works by refutation. And this gets us to this really powerful idea, proof by contradiction. Instead of trying to prove something is true head-on, you do something sneaky. You start by assuming it's false. Then you just follow the logical steps from that assumption. If that path leads you to a complete impossibility, like saying Q is true and Q is false, then you've found a contradiction. And that means your initial assumption had to be wrong. which in turn proves the original statement was true all along. Now, I know this might sound a little bit abstract, a little bit theoretical, so let's actually put it into practice. We are going to take this resolution engine for a spin with a super simple, concrete example to see exactly how this whole thing works.
Okay, here's our setup. Our agent's knowledge base has two simple facts. Fact 1, if it is raining, then the ground is wet. For short, we'll just call that P implies Q. Fact 2, it is raining. That's just P. And our goal? We want to use our engine to prove the conclusion. Q, the ground is wet. Seems obvious to us, but the machine has to prove it.
All right, let's fire up the resolution engine. The first thing we do, following our plan, is to negate the goal. We assume the opposite. The ground is not wet, or not Q, and we temporarily add that to our knowledge base. Next, a critical little step. The engine needs all our sentences in a standard format called conjunctive normal form, or CNF. All you need to know is that this means our if P then Q sentence gets rewritten as not P or Q. It means the exact same thing logically. With that done, we are ready to hunt for a contradiction.
And here we go, the proof in action. We take two things we know, not P or Q, and P. The engine sees that the P and not P are opposites, so they cancel out, leaving just Q. But wait a minute, remember our assumption? We also have not Q in our knowledge base. So when the engine tries to resolve Q and not Q, they're direct opposites. They completely cancel out, leaving us with nothing, an empty clause. And that empty clause, that's the flashing red light. It's our contradiction. It proves our initial assumption was impossible, which means the original goal, Q, has to be true. Our machine did it. Proof complete.
So our machine works. That's awesome, but how well does it perform when we move from a simple little problem like that to something really complex? Well, this is where we start to run into some serious performance bottlenecks, and we have to start thinking about upgrades. Let's just think back to that simple brute force truth table method for a second. If you have n simple facts, the number of rows you need in your truth table is 2 to the power of n. Now, that doesn't sound too bad at first, but this number grows exponentially. If you have 10 facts, that's about 1,000 rows. Okay, doable. But what if you have 30 facts? That's over 1 billion rows. With 100 facts, the number is bigger than the number of atoms in the known universe. It just explodes into something completely impossible to compute. The other major limit is something called expressive power. Our propositional logic is great for simple true-false facts, but it really struggles to represent the rich, complex ideas we use every day. How would it represent a sentence like, all dogs are mammals, or some students pass the exam? It just can't. For that, our agent needs a serious upgrade to something called first-order logic. This new language can actually talk about objects, their properties, and the relationships between them. It can handle ideas like all and some, which is absolutely crucial for reasoning about the real world. So we've seen how we can literally build machines that follow the rules of logic perfectly to arrive at undeniable truths. And that leaves us with a really fascinating final question to chew on. If we can formalize this process of proof, if we can automate reasoning itself, what does that say about the boundary between that kind of mechanical logic and our own human intuition? Where does a perfect proof end and a moment of genuine understanding begin?